What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Poppy TV. I'm your host, Poppy. Welcome to another episode where you see Okinawa through my eyes. So guys, I'm here. It's another day. Just came off work, and today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't be a procrastinator like me. Just joking. Today we're going to talk about my experience learning the Japanese language. So a little bit about my experience is pretty much I've been practicing Japanese since I was in, I want to say, college, right? I had a big red book that had like pretty much a how to write kanji book. It was big. It was a big red book. I think you learned over like 200 kanji with that one. But anyways, and now, it's 2021. I think I started college when I was 2009. So I'm still not fluent in Japanese.
You stupid.
And, joined the military, a whole bunch of life experiences happened, and I'm still not fluent. So I hope this video will kind of help people out there who are trying to pick up Japanese, and hopefully this will kind of, steer people in the right direction. And disclaimer, I'm not a language teacher or anything of the sort at all, so take my advice with a grain of salt. I'm just a YouTuber who makes videos out of his car. I think there are 3 essential tips to successfully learn a language, and that's immersion, learning vocabulary, and then grammar, and then practice. So immersion, what does immersion mean to me? So immersion, just like how you would jump in a pool of water, you want to immerse yourself into whatever language target group you're in. So luckily for me, I live in Japan. I'm actually married to a Japanese person, so I'm always immersed for the most part in Japanese language. And the reason why you want to be immersed is because you want to actively hear and see the language, whether that's reading media or hearing someone talk, going through your day-to-day, and that way you can actively get your brain used to hearing this foreign language, right? And for those of you who aren't married to a Japanese person, who don't even live in Japan, next best thing is that you can watch anime, particularly in Japanese, or if it's not Japanese, if it's another language, you could watch TV shows, movies, sing songs, read literature, anything like that, anything to get your brain, force yourself to hey, this is this new language, I'm gonna try and make sense of it. And the more and more you do it, the more easier it gets. So in my situation, right, being in relationships and whatnot, interacting with people on the road, or you've seen some of my videos when I've ordered food. So the more and more you listen to it, and you see certain things said to you or said to other people, or people doing things in certain contexts, you pick up the words, right? Just like, a baby, when they grow up, they don't know the meaning of words. They don't, well, not to say they don't know the meaning of words. They don't know sentence structure and grammar and stuff like that. They just know the meaning of words, oh, this is an egg, or tamago, or this is an apple. Oh, this is kore wa ringo desu, you know what I mean? So it's like that, you want to immerse yourself into the language. You don't want to get stuck in learning it from a book like I did, because before I went to Japan, and even during my first couple of years in Japan, I was studying from books and whatnot. So this leads me into my next point, is learning vocabulary and then learning grammar, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? So again, I already spoke on it with immersion, is that as a kid you grow up, or as a child, as a baby, you grow up learning words, right? You want juice, so you say juice, or I want milk, you say milk, and you point to it, right? At that point, you don't know grammar, you're just speaking words, right? You're learning vocabulary, and the more you learn from your parents and from kindergarten or daycare or whatever, you start to build more and more vocabulary, and then you kind of copy what your parents or your relatives say, and you kind of build this rudimentary structure. And then you go to grade school and you learn about English language, and then so learning vocabulary first it might be counterintuitive to some people, might be intuitive to some people. That's one of the bad habits that I fell into, is that I was so used to getting these books and reading these books, and instead of focusing on vocabulary first, I focused on grammar first. And I think that's kind of what got me stuck, because one thing's for sure is that whether it doesn't matter the language a lot of the times, or even the apps, because I have Duolingo too. I kind of mess with Duolingo. That crazy owl is reminding me that I'm forgetting my days of practice and whatnot. But following those apps and whatnot, it doesn't really teach you the regular casual language, because sometimes I'll speak Japanese to my wife and it just sounds awkward. Or like if I ask her something, is this right in Japanese? Like she'd be like, oh, people don't use that. So the third point that I want to go into for going off on a rant is that you want to practice. So no matter what, you want to go out there, and even if you don't know what you're saying, even though you might be pronouncing it wrong, it doesn't matter. You just want to go out and practice with people, get that feedback, so that it can build up your confidence and you can eventually speak the language, and you should be good. So I'm going to show you guys some of the books that I've had over the years, because some of these books are old. So this was my first book that I had. This grammar book from Barron's, Japanese Grammar. You can see how old it is. It's pretty old, pretty stained leaves. So this is a decent grammar book, but again, I tried to pick up grammar instead of actually learning vocabulary. So I kind of messed myself up. I also got this kanji book by Tuttle, Learning Japanese Kanji. It has about 520 essential Japanese characters. And with this book, this is a good idea, especially learning Japanese. So, I forgot to mention this. So when I started learning Japanese, in terms of vocabulary, it's not just listening and learning words. You want to actually write out words. So I started off with the Japanese alphabet that consists of katakana, hiragana, kana, and kanji, but I learned katakana, hiragana first. So after I learned katakana, hiragana by practicing multiple times, I got this grid notebook that you can find in almost any Daiso, the dollar store, the local dollar stores, or pretty much a Daiso's, or any big store that has a stationery section. You can go in there and you can get a grid notebook. So here, take this letter out. So here I have rows and rows of kanji that I've practiced over the years. So with Japanese in particular, this might be in your future, like practicing kanji. And to be honest, I forgot how to write most of these. I think I did this back in 2015, 2016, and then I stopped. And so that's pages and pages of practicing kanji. So that's another thing. Obviously, with anything, with learning a skill, you want to be persistent. I wasn't persistent. I procrastinated a lot. I got caught up with other stuff a lot, especially with my schooling. I was practicing. I was not practicing. I was concentrated on my school for a long time. School and work. So I didn't leave any time for studying Japanese. Also, another way to get your vocabulary up is getting a dictionary. I have a Japanese English dictionary. So from time to time I peruse it. I pick up certain words, write them down, and I learn my vocabulary that way. And I also do flashcards. They help. I noticed that one of my one person that I knew, he's pretty fluent in Japanese, and he had flashcards that he carried around with him to help him learn vocabulary. So don't be a procrastinator like me. And if you're learning Japanese, especially when it comes on to living here, and I made videos on those, and you can check those in the link in the description, and you can check it on the link right here. You want to learn Japanese, you want to be fluent in Japanese so that it will open up more opportunities for you. And yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you stay blessed and stay tuned. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.